News updates online at 560theanswer.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Saturday mornings at 11. Visit healthquestradio.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan Proft here. So, inflation ticked up a bit last month, but that doesn't mean that Trump isn't making a lot of converts with the performance of his administration, particularly in economic policies to date. In point of fact, yesterday, CNBC, Ken Langone, co-founder of Home Depot, billionaire, who was not a fan of Trump for a long time, has done a 180. Take a listen to Ken Langone's comments on CNBC.
Look, let me tell you right now, I am sold on Trump. In fact, I'll say this. I think he's got a good shot at going down in history as one of our best presidents ever.
That is a real turnaround because you didn't want to vote for him.
I tell you the reason. I want to tell you, I'm a believer. What I'm seeing happening is absolutely nothing short of a great thing. And there's a beat. People are walking with more bounce in there. It's all around.
I gave you quite a bit of grief.
Huh?
I gave you grief.
You give me grief?
I gave you grief when it was a binary choice. You're still complaining about Trump and it was a binary choice. It's like, are you kidding me?
Knowledge implies one thing. When you made a mistake, admit it.
Okay.
I think this guy is turning out to be a president.
Right.
One of the pilots on that miraculous trip to Iran that we wiped out, whatever the hell we wiped out.
Right.
He said, you're the only guy that in the presidency that would have done what you did. One of the pilots said that.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's probably right.
For more on this, pleased to be joined by Steve Moore, economist, author of The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again. Steve, thanks for joining.
Hi, Dan. Good morning. Well, look, I've been with Trump from the start.
Yeah.
I don't always agree with him, but I do think he's off to an amazing start. I mean, the economy is really picked up substantially. I think you look at the stock market, you look at what's happened with inflation. It's, in the 2.5% to 3% range, down from the 6% and 7% range from Biden. You look at what's happening with jobs; they're pretty abundant. So Trump is off to a very, very good start, and he's pressing all the right buttons. We got the big, beautiful tax bill done. The one thing Republicans have not done, Dan, that I know, is something you complain about, and I do too, is they're not cutting any government spending. But on the deregulation side, on the energy side, and on the tax side, it's been a beautiful picture so far.
And the on the spending side, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on rescission. I mean, it's $9 billion. Every $9 billion counts.
But cut $9 billion out of a $7 trillion budget. I mean, it's pathetic. $9 billion, that's like less than 1% of the budget. My goodness.
I know. That's why I don't want to spend too much time on it, because even if they accomplish it, it's not much of an accomplishment, although it will be sort of personally delicious to see $1.1 billion pulled from NPR and PBS. That would be enjoyable.
And not only would it be enjoyable, it would be a victory for America. I mean, we should not have the government running the radio stations and TV stations.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Exactly.
Right.
But back to fiscal and monetary policy. The push to have Jerome Powell pushed out before the end of his term next year. In part because, and Kevin Warsh was on Bartaroma this weekend saying that President is right, Powell has been slow to act to reduce interest rates. Is that your view?
Listen, I think that Powell is the most political Fed chairman we've ever had. I think he's out to get Trump. There's no reason why you would have cut interest rates a month before the election to help Kamala Harris when inflation was high, but now inflation is low and he won't lower interest rates. And incidentally, I don't know if you've been following this scandal of the billion, not $2.5 million, $2.5 billion renovation of the Federal Reserve building in Washington, D.C. It's going to be the most ornate. They've got fountains, they've got marble staircases, they've got a rooftop terrace with the come on. The Fed should be leading by example, and they're spending money, through the wahoo. And this is a bit of a scandal. And Trump was right to call them out on this. So I think his days are numbered. I don't know if he's going to get fired before his term is up, which I think is in March, but he's going to be gone. I guarantee it. I think he's the most overrated man. Time Magazine almost made him the time of the year last year, except Taylor
Swift.
took him out of it. Yeah, Taylor Swift took him out of that. But listen, the guy's overrated. He is political, and I think he's got to go.
And Trump on trade, before we let you go. It's sort of very whimsical. The tariffs are coming down, tariffs are going up, a deal is being made, a framework is here. What's your handle on the overall approach to tariffs and trade at this point?
Well, it's a real simple story, Dan. So every time Trump talks about, and this dates back to the beginning of the year when Trump came into office, every time he talks about tariffs, what happens to the stock market?
Tanks.
Tariffs. And then, exactly. Every time he opens his mouth and said new tariffs, the market goes down. But then every time he announces a trade deal, what happens? The market goes up again. And so he's been able to pull off a lot of trade deals. And I'm not a big tariff guy, as you know, and your listeners know. But so far, he's been able to negotiate some pretty good deals. He is a pretty good deal maker. I think he's going to get that deal done with Japan and Korea and, Canada and so on. And at the end of the day, if it works, and that's a big if because it's a risky strategy, you could actually have lower tariffs imposed on American products, and that's a good thing. A lot of these countries have a punitive treatment of our tech products, of our agriculture, of our dairy products, of our cars. So let's get a better deal.
Stephen Moore, economist, author of The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again. Thanks, Steve.
All right, Dan. Have a great day.
You
Take
too.
care.
And you joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hey, it's Sean Thompson here for Level 10 Coating. You've been hearing the ads on AM 560 for months. Listeners love the product. Shiny new garage floors. And here's the thing. If you grow up in Chicago, you know a garage isn't just for parking cars. It's a sanctuary for yourself. Sometimes you could throw a kid's party there. Sometimes you